just to kind of wait until the market shows signs of recovery. And I think it did a pretty good chance of that today, right? It came all the way to the tariff thing. I actually didn't see it was the tariff level, so I didn't buy it. I kind of missed that opportunity. But for people who use Fib, apparently it was 50 Fib too. So I guess the stock odds were in the favor because I heard one of the analysts talking about how during specifically this Easter holiday week, the market has a really high chance of it being a weekly green candle. And also, like every 4 weeks, like the next week usually turns green, but we've had 5 weeks of red. So if you bet that this week was going to be green, that would have been a really good bet. And somehow the news and all the cycles coincided with it. It could also be positioning of like people closing positions and stuff. Because like every 4 weeks makes sense, right? Because managements and like all the other hedge funds and like all the big institutions probably have to rebalance either at quarterly or like at monthly levels or something like that is what I assume. Um, so that also involves closing positions, reopening positions, probably. So that's probably why certain weeks that pattern holds. But apparently, specifically for Easter week, holiday week, there's a high chance of the week being a positive week, and that's actually what we saw. So had I known that, and had I known that today was the last trading day of the week, not tomorrow, I forgot tomorrow was Good Friday. I would have been more confident with that, and I also didn't see um, this was the halfway of the thing. That's my fault actually. But the time I saw the thing, it kind of moved too much, so I was waiting for it to dip and buy, but it just never did. Um, I was expecting it to, but I guess it just didn't. But I would have been really confident if it dipped down here. I would have bought a lot, but nope, it just chilled. What I wanted to talk about is, so I've been watching some of the sectors and the markets and what's strong and what's not, and I'm just gonna do an update on. I did like a video of what I would buy in March. I guess this will be what I will be looking to buy in April if the market is going to recover and bottom soon. That's the assumption. If the situation in Iran gets worse, or then we might see further downside to the market, but that means we would go here. I don't think that's gonna happen. So assuming if we look at quarters, right? Do we have quarter here? I'm gonna put the quarters back up here so we can kind of see the quarters on the macro level too. Look at the top one. So each year is divided into 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. And each quarter, like there's like different things. You can think of it as a wig. And then the second quarter it went up. Third quarter also went up, and the fourth quarter we saw some selling or like some pullback, which makes sense because that's how like a candle behaves, right? It goes down first, and then it goes up for a green candle, and then it will like come back down near the end to close. And that's what we see here on a yearly basis. This is the year. It went down, made the low, up, rallied, and then closed. And this year is interesting. We don't know if the year will be green or red. You can only make a bet on what you think is going to happen, and you wait for a situation like that. No one can predict anything on any of it. It's probability, right? All of trading is probability. The bet that you assume this is the low of the week and you take a bet against it. You bet that, okay, if market is going to buy, it should not go below that, so you take a bet from there. Um, so, and you bet on everything based on situation you see during the day and like what sector is strong, what stocks are strong, and you make a bet based on that. So, what I'm going to review now is kind of like my thoughts on some of the sectors I've seen and what sectors I'd be watching out for. I haven't recapped all the stuff, um, but if you want to, you can follow the same process to do it. Um, let's look at the VIX. The VIX has spiked to tariff low, a tariff anchor high, During Trump's tariff last year, the VIX actually spiked this much. It was 91. I had no idea what any of this was. I was very new. Um, but in hindsight, should have shorted the hell out of that. Right? Because if the market drifts up, this will drift down. This is like people betting against the S&P 500. So it's kind of like, I think it's based on the puts or something. I don't know, the short-term futures index, something. Anyway, that's what it's based on. So it reached the tariff as well. Um, yes, yes, it reached that. RTY. So if we look at index, let's look at oil. Oil, we don't have to talk about it. The market's going up, but the oil is also showing sign of strength. So I wouldn't try to short it unless we see like a big sell like that again. But for now, it's like still going up. I heard someone say aluminum is doing well for the metals. So I'm like really interested in the metal. Like, will this be the next big metal? I don't know. Is this aluminum? Which futures is it traded in? Does it not have it? Is this gonna be the next? Wait, it literally went up 40% in 2 days. What? No, no, that's 6 months. Okay. I was like, what the heck? That's crazy. Oh, okay. Year-to-date returns, daily returns. Okay, so these are aluminums. AA, C, and X. I'm probably just gonna put these leaders on here for aluminum, just so I can follow it. This is what I do if I see like a sector or something of strength. I will add it to my list. Um, and then I swatch it if I see something pop up. And then sometimes you see an opportunity, or it's good to keep track of sectors and stuff that's strong in the market. This is aluminum because I don't have something to track up here. So let's take a look. Oh, I didn't know aluminum was also like going up with all the metals. I could have been trading this. So I bought from here since March 20. Actually, it's been going up. That's insane. Oh, if I had like the other, oh, the spread's really bad. There's not much volume. Oh, there's not much volume, but I guess it's good to keep in track. So back to the sectors. So we have oil, and this is the Korean stock market futures, I think. It's not continuous, there's some gaps. And the timing doesn't always align with the US one, but that's okay. I look at, for the Korea, for the US one, I look at EWY, which has like the storage stuff. So this is the Korea, and this is Bitcoin proxy thingy ETF. Taiwan relates to the semiconductors, behaves very, very close to Nvidia and all these semiconductors. And where did it go? SMH. Semiconductor. There's also a second semiconductor, SOX. Sometimes they differ a little bit, so you can identify trends between the difference. If one index hits something, the other might not. So you can use it as like this one's significantly below. Like this one hit the thing, meanwhile this one looks like that. It's just probably difference in the weights of the stocks between these two companies. So copper. Wait, why does this look like this? Why is it blue? That's weird. Why do I have copper as blue? have no idea. Anyway, so since the big sell-off, apparently there was a big sell-off here, you know that? It's been going up steadily. I don't know what's really happening with it. I just saw it. I want to keep on the radar. This is the Japan stock market. Interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. This is fixed. This is the U.S. One of the indexes in the U.S. Dow Jones, which has more industrial and like mix of stuff. Um, like your Coca-Cola is probably, I think, is in Dow Jones. I don't know. Let's see what's in Dow Jones. It's only 30 stocks though, so it's this big companies. So it's variety of the big companies, so you can kind of gauge to see what's happening. Dow Jones has hit this level, close to tariffs as well. ES is our S&P 500. Nasdaq, don't have to say, it came to the tariff and bought all of that up, so there's a lot of buying. It like Trump tanked it from here all the way here, and then New York bought it all the way up. Crazy. And this is, I think this was supposed to be the China one, but it just doesn't load. It's just not doing so hot. And this is the small caps. So among all the indexes for the US, so these are the main four, right? You have YM. This is looking year to date. These are about the same. This is significantly stronger because it never hit the tariff low. So I do expect small caps to go up, and it actually matches with the theme that the biotechs are going up and outperforming, because a lot of the biotechs are in small cap now that I think about it. I just saw the biotechs in Brian Shannon's thing, and now that I think about it, it actually makes sense. And then we have the gold and silver. I don't really know much about metals, but I just keep it here. And then there's Ethereum, Bitcoin. They haven't really done much since the big flush. It's not looking strong enough to really buy. This was the one thing, and then it sold off from year to date average price. Same with Bitcoin. It reached the year to date, and then people were selling and getting out. But what I wanted to go over is the things I think are going to maybe do well if the market is recovering. First of all, I think small caps are probably going to keep going up more unless we see weakness in it and a rotation back into big cap. But you can see there's been a massive rotation out of the large Mag 7. This is your, I don't think Nvidia is in this list, but this is your Tesla, Google, all that stuff, big tech cap, the 7 top ones that make up most of the market. It's been massively sold, and finally we see some buying of strength. And then and among Mag 7, so Nvidia is a Mag 7. I think this is one of the strongest one. We have Nvidia in Mag 7. We have Microsoft. I would still probably not touch Microsoft. It appears very weak compared to the rest of the Mag 7. Oracle's not in it. Google is stronger than Microsoft, so it could come back up, but it's actually looking weaker than it was before. I don't know what's going on with Google. I only follow basically Nvidia and the semiconductors more. The software are just there for watching it. Also, I know the overall the software sector is a lot weaker, and the semiconductors are where the money's being rotated in. So then I don't really focus on IGV unless it's semiconductors are tanking. So this one was looking stronger, and then now it's looking weak. So Google and Microsoft are the only two from the mags here. Apple is holding up better because Apple is kind of like a safety stock too, so no one sold it. Now it's getting bought, so maybe Apple will go up because it actually looks like second strongest. Like Nvidia was strong, right? It's didn't sell much from all that night. This was from Tuesday, and since this time it only dropped this much. Tesla, no one's buying it. It turned red today, guys. No one's buying Tesla. 5% down on a day like this. Google's also minus on a day like this. That's not good. Amazon, also minus on a day where the market is up, where the market rallied and turned. That's not good. Nvidia had a really strong buy in reaction off of this, which is really, really good. The semiconductors are still very strong. Um, and so these are our semiconductors. Follows these. It's the strongest out of Nasdaq, so these will probably show continued strength. But I don't think within the semiconductors, Intel is coming out actually really strong. I don't know what's going on with Intel, but they're doing really well, and it's getting bought heavily. It was one of the strongest the other day when it was sold off, and it continues to show massive strength. AMD is another one that's really strong since lots of partnership. It had been outperforming Nvidia in this area, but now looks like I think it might still continue to do that. Dell is not a semiconductor, but I didn't know where to put it because it's kind of more in the hardware processing, and I've seen it gone up and it looks like it got bought up. So Dell is also showing strength compared to all the other side of the market, and I've seen it pop off before, but I wasn't familiar with it. And then now that I come back to it after this, I think it looks a lot better for potential stuff. Nvidia is weak, but it's coming back up. It'll be interesting to see if people will still exit Nvidia after coming up here, because a lot of people are trapped from here. This all-time high, it's probably close to like around this area now. Marvel, I'm saying Marvel just started to pop off. Right, this is the semiconductor. It was selling this whole time, and this is holding, but you can clearly see this is buying this whole time. And it recently had a $2 billion investment from Nvidia as well. I've been watching it since here for buying. It's just like load the boat here, let it go, like stop if it falls below probably year-to-date high. But now it's kind of stretched. This was the time to really get in on it. But if you do get another pullback, what you could do is anchor to this area. It would probably come back to here, but I don't know, man. This is already going up. It was sold to here overnight and it got bought up all the way. Yeah, I would have focused on this if I was trade the pull trend pass. I would just bought like 1,000 share of this. Very, very ideal. AVGO still weaker. TSM. Is okay. I don't know much about these. I just keep it for reference because one day it could be one of the leaders, and then I need to know if the entire sector is done pumping. Then I watch the leader to see if it's done buying. Otherwise, it will still keep going up higher. So I just keep that for reference. And these are other in the semiconductors, the TER, MAT, this and that. Apparently, these are part of something called the AI chips, and they're supposed to be the super key ones, but they are being sold. Does this mean that we're gonna see a separation in how the semiconductors are, but also semiconductors overall to look stronger than IGB? That'll be interesting. I expect these two, this one especially, I saw some news about it, and I think it could go higher. So I just have this marked as separate. And then the other trade we had was the memory, and it looks like the memory trade is still on. Micron's looking a bit weaker, but SanDisk is still showing strength. This is insane. I don't know when they're gonna sell, but absolutely crazy. I've been watching this stock since here, but I didn't know anything about it, so I thought it would be like, I didn't want to put like little money I had and like have it go. I had no familiarity with the stock. I knew the brand, but I didn't know about it. But now it makes sense because of the AI memory. And then these had some news. These are related to, yeah, this was another one that would be really strong buy, but it already went up 20% today. Oh, it had something for data center. It had good news for AI data center type thing. Plus, this is in the sector where um, there was some bottleneck in AI stuff, so the sector popped off and has showed strength. The other ones in the sector showed weakness, so light is still strong. This is weak. Core is still strong. This is still strong. This is like an overall strong sector. These are like the strongest sector, and then within the semiconductor, Intel, then and Dell is not semiconductor, but Dell, Marvel, those four are strong. Nvidia is not as strong, but it's the strongest out of Max 7. So that's what I would watch for. It looks like the photonics trade and the storage is not done yet. And then in IGV, that's weak. What's being bought the most? Okay, so in IGV could be potentially Google or Palantir. Palantir is looking like the most probable one for coming up. Also, the other one I looked at is Netflix. I kind of would put it in the IGV. Looks like I accidentally deleted it, but this would be my number one pick in the IGV for what I would look for because it has multiple reasons why it could continue much higher. First of all, so many people have been selling it since June of 2025. And if people shorted Netflix this whole time and it's strong and it didn't sell and it's buying a lot, then they're gonna have to buy back their positions. And on top of that, all the buyers are gonna be wanting to buy Netflix because it's cheap and now it's stopped going down and now they're gonna want to invest in it, right? So, unless there's bad news, I think it will go up to here and even it might sell off a little bit from there and then I think it's gonna finally start to go up. Very good chance it will go up to at least here. And this was one stock that was watching this entire week. We talked about Max 7, but this one's like really, really nice. I don't know about these ones anymore. It's kind of still weak. I think Palantir is okay. Figma kind of goes with Adobe. I'm just waiting for this IPO to stop tanking, but it just has no reason to go up, and nothing is buying. So I haven't seen what I would need to see for me to think this IPO is finally moving out. Circle. Oh yeah, no, I don't think I'll touch that. Just like all the Bitcoin and crypto and stablecoin related is kind of not doing well. So I don't really trade those. I don't know it very well either. I know the tech and the semiconductors more. So those are the software sectors that I'm looking out for, and data centers. Looks like NBIS is bouncing back really strong. That would be my pick for one of these ones. It had recent partnership with Meta as well, so I think it still has more reasons to keep going up. I'm not sure about BE and Oklo. Oklo is kind of like dead, right? People were just like, it popped off on something, but this company doesn't have anything. It's just back down to this. You never want to be buying this backside. You want to get out. You want to be waiting for the average here and then risk off that. I just have it on the list. The other stock that was related to this is like, it went up to like 50 and now it's like a $10 stock. It's insane. That's why you don't buy those. Walmart, I think it's kind of done going up for now. I guess it found support. It moves with Dow Jones, so it's always stable. So maybe I don't see it having like this type of move right now, but it could change. Target was doing really well and going up steadily since November. Wow. I don't know what's going on with Target, but it's doing well. And then these we're not talking about. One of the other really, really big ones I'm watching is biotech and space. And for space, I just saw this on a listing while I was doing something, so it looks like a recent IPO, and it's popping off with the space theme. So when IPOs do that and they pop up with a space theme, they could have a potential to do like a huge run. Like I was like, why is this stock up 18%? Now it makes sense. It's an IPO and it came here and people are probably looking to invest in it because they're buying the space ones. So it could keep going. It could keep going up more. And then PL is also the same reason, the space theme with SpaceX in the news. And there was also a recent NASA launch that was good. So I guess all of this is driving people to invest in space. That's what I would think. I think I saw an announcement of like NASA preparing for like a human moon mission or something. And yeah, these are finally getting bought. It bought off the May lows, which is really good for these. Yep. Um, so space is something to keep an eye out on. I don't know which one I would buy, where, but looks like this is getting strongly bought. Starlink something. I don't know. They just have different things, right? Energy, we don't have to talk about it because this I was looking at since here, but I didn't buy it. But I saw news that Trump had said that they were going to get into transocean mining. And I remember this stock because one of the days when I was looking in Finviz, I saw it 13% up. It was like some Swiss or some company, and I didn't know about it. And I was like, oh, interesting. It's like a mining stock. And then I saw it in the news with the Trump. It wasn't in the news, but then I immediately thought of this, and I was like, there's a really good chance that this will go up. And with the energy crisis and everything, it did go up massively. So I need to trust my gut more. Because look at this. This is insane amount of return. Like a stock moving up $4. That's insane. Could have bought so many stocks of that. Well, we didn't know about the Iran situation, but yeah, so there were many reasons for this mining. It was recently related to that, right? So now the energy is coming down. So I would keep an eye on the mining stuff because miners can go up if they have a need for it. Oil tankers, I don't know much about. And then the last thing I want to talk about is among all these sectors, so UFO is the space one, so you could see it's really strong compared to actually our tech sector. This is tech. It's been sold off. This is also tech. This is also tech. Tech. This is healthcare. It's been massively sold. It could maybe get bought. Industrials sold to the May level and then bought from there. Finance has taken a huge hit. It's kind of the weakest sector that I follow. Communications, I don't really watch this. Energy, I just keep an eye on it for reference during the day, but the main ones I follow are just the main sectors. And this is Kathy's mix of space, and this is Kathy's biotech and genome. And yeah, you can see how the UFO, oh god, it went up so much. People are buying the space. Like, so when you are watching space, instead of watching SPY, you want to watch this index. It's not very liquid, but you watch for pullbacks in this index to align with pullbacks in SPY. So that's how you would try to get the best price, and then align this index with like the individual stock. So now if you bought the stock, you'd be like, okay, if this index goes below that, you can sell, right? So this was one of the strongest one. Look at that. It barely dipped. That's why you stay with the sector that is strong. This is the momentum one. It's like the stocks that had momentum, but it's not helpful right now. But it's generally the stocks that were being bought. I think someone manages it. And then this is the equal weighted S&P 500. Sold, but look at what's sticking. IBB. It's one of the strongest ones since year to date, and it's already at this level, so I'm keeping an eye out on that as well. I want to know what was bought because this was one of the strongest the other day. It's not that bought today. Kind of at a level where it could sell from, but yeah, the strongest conviction is definitely I would stick with CXBI, like the biotech. This one is very strong. This one's, I guess, a different group of stuff, but quite strong, if you will, ask me. Um, so the biotechs are really, really good for now. I don't really want to. This one could have a comeback, but healthcare is still looking kind of weak. This could also have a comeback because it's sold so much, but some of them are still weak. And then my number one pick would be space. What is this one? I don't know this one. Oh, I think this was an ETF. Is this new? This must be new. If it's new, then I don't know if I'll keep track of that, but it had a lot of volume. So yeah, so those are the overview of the stocks and the sectors that I'm keeping an eye out on. Mostly space, biotech, and then for the semis, Dell, Intel, AMD, Dell, Marvel, and then Photonics. I'm not really sure, but it looks like this one had a really good day, so maybe follow through on some of these ones. But I think Marvel is like looking really, really good. I don't really know what's up with them, but semiconductors bounce back. We'll see what the strength stays in, but and Netflix. Netflix is like number one. This is just absolutely crazy. It did not sell off that much at all during this whole mess, and it has a lot of potential to get back up for a streaming company that's down so much. Yep, that is it. Invest at your own risk. Who knows what's going to happen in this market?